None of the Straw Hats should be alive right now. I'm talking every single one. Luffy, Nami, Zoro, Brooks. Well, Brooks technically already dead. I want y'all to watch this video. And I pan-picked so many moments in this story where the Straw Hats should have died. So I'm gonna go through these. I don't have like a set number. I just have moments in this story where none of these Straw Hats should have survived. Now let's start with my man Usopp. Now Usopp is definitely one of the characters in this story who you would think that like there's no reason he should be surviving half the things he's go to, and he's one of those types of characters, but you like it's okay to have like a gag character sometimes in these type of scenarios. And by all means he's not a gag character, but specifically let's talk about Skypiea. Now in Skypiea, this man Usopp quite literally was going up against Eneru, you know, the god of lightning, you know, with the lightning fruit. Let's just roll the clip real quick. He dead ass got struck by lightning. He just walked away from that. Right. Plot armor, in the straw hat. This is Usopp we're talking about. Pre-time skip Usopp, like buff Usopp, right? There's no way you can spin this in a way that makes sense. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Not even the one moment in Skypiea. In this panel right here, Nami quite literally was getting struck by lightning, and she was struck as well, and still walked away from it. And you want to know who else got struck by lightning? Sanji dead ass took an entire lightning bolt just to the dome. But somehow, some way, he let bro walk. But like, okay, for those of you who are caught up in the manga, spoilers that are coming up ahead right now. Like, we know he's a Vin Smoke. We know he has a Germa tech in his body. And like, we know he has that, right? Come on, you really telling me that he didn't awaken it until Wano, right? But we're just supposed to believe that, oh, the whole time he's had it. It just didn't fully awaken until Wano, right? Man, get that. Anyways, bro, Usopp and Nami should not have survived Skypiea. They both should have been packed. Sanji still could have been packed, but like there's a bit more reason behind it. Like his German tech was it was just like that back then. So we're just gonna roll with that. Now this next one is kind of stretching it, but like not really. And that's Usopp versus Luffy. Now these are one of those fights where you just gotta look at yourself and just be like, Luffy, he wasn't trying to kill him. We literally could see in the fight, Luffy could have ended that. Well, he literally ended it at one point with one punch. See what I did there? But yeah, he literally could have ended it with one punch, right? But like chat, let's just be honest for a second. Look at this guy up there. Pre-time skip Usopp, right? Are we really gonna sit here and say that? Bro, and let's not forget, Frankie's old crew that he used to roll with back on, I don't know, was that Water 7? Whooped his ass. I'm talking, had bro stomping him out, had bro on bandages. So you're telling me that what Luffy put him through, that like he was just able to just could tank all that too? Like again, Usopp pre-time skip was just complete dog water, horrible, useless. But you're really gonna sit here and tell me the man was able to survive Luffy and all those attacks? He put up a decent fight for being Usopp. Like he was using his smarts, like he was lucky getting some of the shells off on Luffy and like things like that. But it's just like, bro, like you just look at this guy, you're just like, how did you survive? That's Usopp and Luffy. Like I guess we can chalk this one up to he was on the very brink of death, and the only way that he was being saved was Oda just writing him in the story and just keeping writing him in there, just completely erasing his name out of the book. But now we're moving on to the next person on this list. And now this one, let me just show you. Chat. Roronoa Zoro. We know Zoro is strong. Like again, we know Zoro is. We know he's we know he's strong. We know he's a capable fighter. We know he can do things, right? In this arc, which was a little bit after Thriller Bark, right? Kuma's Devil Fruit ability, it allowed him to take the pain out of Luffy. Everything that he had gone through, I'm talking like every attack every punch he threw, every time he stretched, and mind you, okay, Luffy's Devil Fruit, it allows him to like, he gets punched, his body is going to stretch with it, right? So all that he was going through is literally in this pain bubble, right? How are his limbs still intact? Like, obviously he's covered in blood. Like, there's no doubt about it. Clothes are ripped. Like, he shouldn't have lived through that. If you didn't believe any of the other ones that I said, cool. This one made no sense. I don't care how strong Zoro is, how much he can bench, how much he can squat, how much he can lift with one hand. If you're taking Monkey D. Luffy's entire pain he went through after any type of battle, any hard fought battle, and you put that in someone else, there is absolutely no way they should be able to survive. Simply because of the Luffy's double fruit, any punch you throw at him, it's gonna stretch. It's gonna stretch something. So like, it doesn't make sense. This brother should not be alive. But then again, just the sheer amount of shit that this guy has had to go through during this like entire show, and just how much pain he's had to go through, I really think Oda's foreshadowing death right here. But that's another topic for another video. Let's go to the next person. And what would be a video about the Straw Hats and about freaking death without talking about the man himself? Monkey D. Luffy, specifically impaled down. I'm not even gonna lie to you, it's actually a stretch. Like, hear me out though, right? Luffy was running around impaled down this entire time. He was fighting villains, literally fighting everybody, right? That man right here, okay? This man right here, right? Mangella? We all know poison fruit, right? Luffy's not immune to poison. Now, the rubber effects of his devil fruit, it definitely kind of like slowed it, but like we literally saw that it was like burning him, like physically hurting him. Like he wasn't able to like really like tank that, right? He was being doused in that multiple times, punching it, being doused in it, literally all those things, as well as fighting other people throughout Impel Down. The only way he was able to survive this was because Ivankov, she injected him drug that she had, gave it to him, right? And that's how he was able to combat the effects of it, and then was able to continue moving throughout Impel Down. Like that drug had a side effect, though. Like you were supposed to like feel that pain like later on. It didn't stop. So like the real question is like, is that just a testament to how his durability is as like a character, or is that just plot armor? That's really what you can chalk it up to. Either insane stamina and just durability in general as a character, or just plot armor. But generally though, I think it is just his durability, because like I said, with his double fruit ability and just being like rubber, like it could have just like slowed down the effects of it. It wasn't like that hard, you know, things like that. But like it's still iffy. But we're gonna move to the next one. This next one though, it's not a stretch, but like you just watch that fight and you just see, like, let's just Katakuri versus Luffy. Now this fight was like probably one of the most iconic and best fights in all of One Piece. There's just one problem with it though. Katakuri was better than this man in quite literally every way. Devil Fruit was a lot more stronger and just better than literally. Katakuri was just a better version of Luffy, and that was like the theme of this fight, right? So essentially, and again, spoilers by the way, that's about to come up. You haven't, caught up in One Piece. How Luffy essentially won this fight was because Luffy got stabbed in the back. Katakuri didn't like that, so he stabbed himself, and like both of them were like bleeding super heavily. And then as the fight goes on, this basically was just a fight about like, I guess, stamina in a way, and just durability, and just who could last longer with who. Basically, who had more blood and who could survive the longest, right? And then obviously, it just got to a point where then they both just stopped throwing punches, and then Katakuri passed out, Luffy passed out, but like Luffy could still get up, but Katakuri couldn't. I understand the theme of this fight. I understand what this fight's supposed to do. The story is supposed to be Luffy surpassing his own limits and just like, Snake Man, things of that nature, right? But it's just like, bruh, why did he have to win like that? Like, I wish like he could have like surpassed his limits in a way that didn't just make it just like a draw. Like, it could have been like he actually won. It just feels like if Katakuri hadn't injured himself, he would have won that fight. It's like, yeah, it wasn't Luffy's fault he got injured, and like it wasn't Katakuri's fault either. He just got stabbed in the back, but like obviously he would have won if that didn't happen. So like, yeah, I guess with this fight you can chalk it up to the fact that like Katakuri just had sympathy and respect as like a warrior and as a fighter, and then that's why he did what he did. Or you can just call it complete bullshit and the more plot armor and just like why are you still alive? So yeah, I guess that's what we can chop up the Katakuri versus Luffy fight. This one on this list might be by far the biggest. Just like what the Luffy drowning in water. This man in the anime had been drowning for episodes on episodes on episodes on episodes. In the manga, it was pages on pages on pages, drowning for what had to have been hours, going down to the very depth of the bottom of the ocean. But somehow this man, he was still alive. He survived it. And like, I have this theory, right? I've had this theory since that when I like thought about this, and then I came up with this theory. And my theory stretches from Arlong Park, right? Because he had the chain. Damn, can you speak? He was chained up, and he was drowning, right? Just like Kobe is now. But it wasn't that far, and it wasn't as long. It was still long, but like it was still one of those things where like, buddy, you're drowning, and you have a devil fruit. You're drowning. Theory that his devil fruit, his lungs can expand and stretch, just like the rest of his body. Crazy theory, right? Just who would have thought of it? So the more water he takes in, his lungs, they just stretched. And they just haven't reached to a certain point where they just bust. Isn't that just crazy to think about though? He just drowns just so much, just so much. And he just gets back up and just spits out water like he wasn't just drowning for just like 10, 12 chapters or 6, 7, 8 episodes or just, you know, it's just like, you just look at these things and you're just like, bro, like breathe. We're chalking this up. We're not chalking this up to shit. He should have died. Maybe not in Arlong Park, but he for sure should not have. He should have died in Wano. His lungs should have imploded, and he should be at the bottom of the Wano Sea right now. We'll leave it alone. We'll leave it alone. We'll let Oda cook. You know, we'll let Oda cook. Luffy versus Buggy. Also, gonna be super quick. Not even Luffy versus Buggy. That lightning hadn't have came down and saved that brother's ass. This story would have ended in Logtown. But even then, do we even know if Luffy's even immune to swords? Probably would take a little like force, but like surely you could cut him. He literally had this man on a pedestal. And then lightning just saves him. But again, we just have to chalk that up to literally just plot. And just like this one, we actually have to chalk up the plot because it's just crazy. And just think. Out of all the people who've almost killed Luffy, Buggy D Clown is on that list. But Buggy's one of the most strongest characters in One Piece, so I can't even be mad. Now this last one, it's a beautiful story, but like, Oda, come on, bro. In this lobby / water side, the Going Merry sails itself to the Strawhats because of the love that the Strawhats have for the Merry, it was able to sail itself through the Grand Line, through storms, out of an entire like ship dock, and save the Strawhats. And they all just jumped, and they just jumped, and you know they jumped, and you know they like hooray, we're saved, hooray. You know, people are gonna watch this video. They're gonna be like, does this guy even like One Piece? I love One Piece. I love One Piece. You gotta just look back at these things. You just gotta like laugh. You genuinely have to laugh because it just don't make sense. Again, like let Oda cook, but it's just like, bro, it's just a lot of moments in this show where it just makes you question, just like, damn, plot armor is a real thing. But that's okay. Plot armor is good. Plot armor is good as long as it makes sense. And a lot of the times in One Piece, it makes sense. Specifically Luffy, because his rubber devil fruit like type thing like has saved him so many times. But it's okay because we love One Piece. I love this series and I love this show, and I don't want anyone to die, except for Kid. Hey Kid, you know what happened to you, my boy? Yeah, you know what happened to you. But like, that's the video though. All the time the Straw Hat should have died. Yeah, it feels good to be back on YouTube. Feels good to be back making content. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you like this video, you want to see more of these, make sure you like, comment. You know, you subscribe. It's only 2 videos on the channel, but like we're dropping videos 2 days a week. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I see y'all on Thursday. You know what I'm saying?